what's up, everybody? Thanks for joining us on episode 2 of the Zoomer Pod. My name is Randy, and I am the Boomer.
And my name's RJ. I'm the Zoomer.
And we want to thank you for joining us. So, how's it going?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We really haven't seen much of each other, for the most part. I guess since the last episode.
Yeah, since the last episode.
Just life, I guess, and school and all that. And so, everything going good?
Yeah.
Anything exciting?
Well, got a job, but.
Got a job. Oh, yeah, that's on the list. Got a job.
Got a job. That's on the list. Wow.
Yeah, that's on the job.
That's my topic. I was thinking about that all day. I was like, are we going to talk about that?
Of course we're going to talk about that. Dude, you got a job.
I know. It's crazy.
I don't think you understand. Like.
Your mom must be stoked.
Yeah, that's one way to put it. And, I mean, there's a sadness there. I mean, like, really. Like,
yeah,
I mean, I think, like, I always tell people who are going through, the whole idea of raising kids, or not the idea, they're raising kids.
Mm-hmm.
And with every new step, every bit of independence, there's a joy, but then there's also a certain bit of sadness.
Yeah,
like,
kind of bittersweet.
Yeah, I mean, you were my first baby boy. I mean, I held you in my arms like yesterday. And like you got a job, and that's something that's really
just different. And
it's surreal. I mean, it really is surreal. And so I mean, I don't know what to say.
I wouldn't know how I could relate.
I mean,
to that.
No,
but
you can't relate. I'm glad you can't relate to that. I'm glad you're not like, I know. I remember when little Junior started walking.
I remember when RJJ.
I remember when RJJ started walking. Yeah, I kind of know what you're talking about.
Got a job before me. That's crazy.
So but yeah, we'll get more into the whole job thing. But yeah, it's cool. I'm so proud of you for doing it. Mm-hmm. But it's bittersweet. Again, it's one of those deals where I realized, like, wow. Like, that's more time that that you're now separated and you're going to go do your own thing, which, again, I'm really proud of and I'm really excited for, but it's a little bittersweet. So, let's move on. Me, I'll start bawling like a baby. Anyway, I just want to swing back around real quick. And since you did go back to school and just touch on the whole World War III thing, because out of all our topics last week, that was the one I think got the best feedback. And I think people was, obviously it was late in the episode. So, the people who listened to the whole episode. If you listened
that far, thank you.
I know you made it that far.
You made it that far. Thank you.
However, I got such good feedback, I decided to make it its own segment on YouTube. So check us out on YouTube at the Zoomer Pod. Yeah. Drop. And so I mean, I did it. And so a lot of people commented on that a lot as far as, and they really felt like that is what our podcast, is and should be. And so
it's a good title.
Huh?
It's a good title. I think it.
Well, it was just funny at the end.
Yeah.
Because it's like we're kind of gods.
Yeah, I mean.
Or we're gods. We're godsends, kind of. Mm-hmm. But so you went back to school.
Yeah.
Anything?
A lot of jokes.
Okay.
And then, it was like, so they attacked the embassy, or they bombed the embassy, and not much has happened after that.
Right.
At least nothing huge. So it was like.
Well, no, they bombed a
plane. And then they hit that plane.
They actually bombed a military base in Iraq that held U.S. soldiers.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay.
Yeah, not the embassy. They
bombed that, and then the plane went down.
And
they denied it.
Well, at first they denied it. They said it was scientifically impossible that they could have shot it down. But then I thought that was really funny.
Until they scientifically proved that, hey, these are your missile parts?
Yeah.
And we have video of it coming out of your territory.
This is Iran on it? So, and then after saying that, they said that they thought it was like a threat.
Yes.
So
So, well, let's get to the point that they admitted it.
They admitted it, but they said they thought it was a threat.
And
then
one guy who was in charge, or that was watching the radar, thought it was a threat.
Yeah.
And apparently, he says he tried to communicate, and something happened to the communication system. So there was a
electronical
well, yeah,
malfunction.
but there was a time where he was like, either I have to try to shoot it down, or it could hit us.
Yeah,
is what he's saying. And so, that's
yeah. I mean, if that's true,
out.
Then
I think he got arrested. Like, apparently he's been taken into custody. I'm not sure if it was by the UN or what, but he got taken into custody.
If that's true, then I think it's a little more justified than just shooting down a plane. But
yeah, I mean, there's no part of me that ever thought that they intentionally shot down the plane, before they admitted or not. I was like, I don't think that they intentionally, but tensions are high. And and I'm not gonna say.
Tensions are high. They just bombed our thing. It would make sense for us to swing by real quick and drop a little some.
Yeah.
On them.
So that's gonna be interesting to see how it unfolds. But like you said,
not much has happened since.
It seemed like it quieted down.
Yeah, quieted down
quite a bit.
Nothing has really been said, and then so at school, everybody came back, and that was like things people kind of talked about. Like, it was mentioned in passing conversation. It was one of the first things that people did talk about.
Okay. With any concern, or just
from my friend group at least, it was more jokes, but a little like, this is gonna be crazy if it escalates.
Right.
But I'm not sure, like, from other people. I'm sure some kids were concerned. I'm sure some kids were all jokes.
Yeah, so, I mean, I guess at this point, like you said, it's not much, and like I said, I don't follow that. I'm not following that type of news all day, every day, trying to figure out who said what every minute. I just kind of wait until it pans itself out and get the closest to the facts that we can get. So that was something I just definitely wanted to touch on.
Just swing back to real quick.
Huh?
Just swing back to it real quick.
Yeah, I just want to swing back to it because, like I said, I think it was something that people was very interested in from the last podcast, and we did talk about what it'd be like to go back to school.
Yeah, that was one of the big things.
And
that
again,
was the main.
It kind of, like we said, like, is this going to be a big deal, or is it going to fizzle out and just be another 24-hour news cycle?
24-hour news cycle / meme.
Yeah, and so,
I mean, it was pretty much. It had its run, and then after that.
Yeah, a couple people dropped out the presidential race this week. And the big one I was surprised was Cory Booker. I mean, I know you don't know a lot about that right now, but I really thought Cory was going to be somebody who gave him a good run. I really did think Cory was going to give him a good run. So I'm not quite sure where he went wrong.
You know who's still sticking around, which I'm kind of intrigued by, is Andrew Yang.
I know.
He has his whole, like, $1,000 a month thing, but so he went on. Yeah, so he went on the H3 podcast. He's been on it twice, and so once at the very beginning, and then they were like, "We'll have you back on," and then once after, I think the most recent debate, and recently he's been picking up steam. Like, right after the most recent debate, something about him was trending on Twitter, and then yesterday, I looked at Twitter, and it was like, America needs Yang, and it was like 183K people had just tweeted about it.
Wow.
And so, yeah, he picked up a lot of steam, and so I think he met his goal to be in the next debate, because they were like,
that was last night was the last debate to the primaries.
Yeah, so he was saying on the podcast, he was like, we just need, like 2%, we just need 2% more, something like that, for me to go to the next debate.
Okay.
And he was like, and from just the people that I'm working with, it looks like we're going to hit that. And, I mean, I'm assuming he hit it because he was in the debate last night.
Yeah, no, I didn't know anything about him. Mm-hmm. And I watched him on Rogan.
Oh.
And literally, like I said, didn't know anything about him.
Yeah.
And you figure, so many people, sign up or put their names in, and they're just kind of people who have a little bit of money, or they just almost anybody can throw their name on the ballot, in the beginning. Mm-hmm. So it's like, who is this guy? And the longer it went on, the more intrigued by him I became.
He's very intelligent.
He is. But he scared the crap out of me. I can literally say that Andrew Yang literally kind of scared the crap out of me on Rogan. Mainly because he started really putting numbers, and I think that that's where he's going to draw his steam, is that he puts numbers to his I'm just going to use rhetoric for just a, lack of a better word. He puts numbers to it. Yeah. And he'll tell you, like, this is
what's happening.
Yeah, this is what's happening. This is when from the trend, this is when AI is going to take over.
That's one of his big things,
right.
Is like, AI, we need to somehow fix this because this is getting out of control.
Well, he said in 10 years, by 2030, almost every job that pays under $20,000 a year will be automated. And so $20,000 to $30,000 will be automated. And he said, this is a big thing, is everybody says, like, 10 years, 10 years, 10 years. He said, but the problem with that is, it's not going to, 10 years is when it'll be 100%. It'll be 60% by 2023, 2024.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so he's like, that the other 6 years is just a trickle down effect of all the rest of it. And so he lets you know, like, this is coming really, really fast.
This is approaching us faster, and we need to.
Right. And the stipend thing is, again, if you just talk to somebody on the street who hasn't listened to him, it sounds a little crazy. But when you listen to him talk about it and how it can be achieved and the purpose of it, like, because everybody gets a stipend. If you make like Bill Gates would get a stipend.
Yeah.
Right. But
beginning at the age of 18, you get.
And so
$1K every month.
$1K every month, which, I mean, I don't know. $1K would help. $1K would definitely put food in your.
Yeah, $1K puts food on the table, but that's not exactly gonna get a house over your head or anything. It's just helping you.
But it'll help. And but he talks about how he wants to hold responsible the people. So if you're going to introduce AI, so if Amazon is going to introduce AI to the world, then you're going to be responsible for
paying those people
part of the stipend. Like, so it'll be another tax on the big corporations that's using more of the, the AI technology and kind of putting the lower man out of work. Now, his thing is, this is not quote unquote socialism, and they will get it back, because people at that level don't save. You're not going to give them $1,000 and that $1,000 goes into the wall or the mattress and they're saving it, right? It's going to go back into the economy. And that's kind of his justification. We give them $1,000, they're going to spend $1,000. You give them $1,000, they're going to spend $1,000. So it's a very interesting concept. And
it's putting more money back into.
I'm sorry?
Putting more money back into the economy.
Yeah, and giving some people something to live on. So it's going to be interesting. Like you said, he's gained a little steam. I think Warren still is. I guess she's the front runner, and then Bernie.
Bernie and Joe Biden.
Now there's this. I call it contrived. There's this contrived beef now between them, because apparently he said something like, "A woman can't win."
Yeah,
and she brought that out 2 days before the debate, so it can obviously be a hot topic, and that's why I don't get into the day-to-day, because it's just so contrived at this point that I'm just like, I'll just wait to the end, see what happens.
Yeah, so I read about that, and I think that Bernie's saying that you could say something like that without it's supposed to be being sexist. You could say that being, like, in the state that America's in, like, it'd be cool, but I just don't think it could happen because XYZ.
But here's the problem, and like I said, this is why I don't pay attention to that stuff, because you can't put all of that in a headline. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? All of that, if you put all of that in a headline,
people are going to go, oh.
Yeah, people go, oh. But if you just put out Bernie says a woman can't win, then people the Twitter fingers come out.
Yeah.
And people got to state their case and take a side, And who was it I was reading about? Man, I'm sorry. I should have known. But they were saying how the Democratic Party, who was supposed to be Neutral put out like a hit ad on somebody. Just I think it was on Bernie. Like they put out a hit ad. Yeah, it was on Bernie. I'm sorry, it was on Bernie. Like the Democratic Party, who's supposed to be neutral to all Democrats, basically put out a hit ad on Bernie behind this, and that's kind of unheard of. Other than the fact, they did it for Hillary too. They put out hit ads on Bernie for Hillary. So, that's it's going to be interesting. So
yeah.
Yeah, enough of politics.
That's enough.
I'm tired. That made me tired. I need a break. I need a nap. We'll be right back.
Yeah, all right. Wrap it up.
All right, wrap it up. So, Andrew Yang's talking about, jobs going away.
What does he call it? The freedom dividend? Something like that?
Something like that. But let's get back to your job.
Yeah.
You got a job.
I'm going to be out of a job if Andrew Yang's right.
Are there kiosks yet? Let's just say his job is at a very popular place that used to have a Chihuahua as their mascot. And they are basically based on an ideology of serving food from south of the border.
Wow,
now,
you really...
until they give us some sponsorship money, we are not going to talk about them. They are pretty much like Fight Club. We don't talk about them. But
Don't talk about beep. Redacted. Just.
Do you guys have kiosks yet?
Yeah.
So you do have kiosks.
You have 2 up front. So there's 2 up front, and I think those are mainly for just if it gets crowded and people don't feel like waiting in that line. Mm-hmm. Because from what it seems like, I've only seen people go up to it when there's someone else in line and they don't feel like waiting. Because, just on my first day, I was at the register, and someone came up and started ordering, and I could just tell they were just shy. Like, you can hear in their voice that they're shy. And so I think the kiosks are there, but they're not being used extensively.
Well, I've noticed when we go to, like, McDonald's, the McDonald's down by Aqua Shop, where Aqua Shop used to be, they've had them for a while, but nobody really uses it.
Yeah, no one uses it.
Nobody uses it. And so, it's going to be interesting to see how fast those go. So, again, you got a job, and you went in for kind of an orientation and a slight training,
orientation, slight training. But by the end of the day, by the time I only worked I worked 2 hours less than I would on a normal day. So, but by the end of the day, it was still kind of learning, asking, just like, oh, where's this, where's that. But for the most part, it was just if someone goes up to the register, help them out. If someone comes through the drive-thru, help them out. And it wasn't like them showing me what to do.
Right. So here's my question for you. For, I guess, the last 3 years or so, I've always said, hey, RJ, if you want to make some money, I'll teach you how to shoot. I'll teach you how to shoot. And I'm a photographer for those that don't know. So I'll teach you how to shoot.
Drop another link.
I know. I'll drop another. www.
Dad's crib.
Exactly. So, and I've said you can, by this time you can shoot sports. You could get your field pass. You could shoot sports, sell football tickets, or sell football pictures, or basketball pictures. And you could shoot seniors by the time you're a junior or senior. You could be shooting seniors. I've offered to teach you how to retouch, so you could have that part of that part. And when I start outsourcing it, you could have that part of it. And I must admit, when you do work for me, I pay you pretty well, I would say. But you went and got a starter gig. And so I'm just intrigued again.
I had a feeling you were going to ask me this eventually.
Yeah,
whether it was on here or just.
No, it's fine. And let me just say this for the record. Again, I'm proud of you, and I am happy you did it, and I'm happy that I'm very happy. I don't feel a way about it other than being proud of you. But it is a little intriguing to me because
you've been offering me.
Well, I think if I was younger, if I had the option of working less, making more, and building a trade or a skill, I probably would have opted for that. But that's my boomer.
Yeah.
That's my boomer mind.
That's what boomer says.
Well, that's my boomer mind working now. Because my first job was at the place with the golden arches with the really good fries.
You know? What used to be really good fries, because I don't think they're that good.
Right? No, my first job was at McDonald's. And
gotta bleep that.
But my first job was at McDonald's.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, my very first job was at McDonald's. And it was because Papa, and I've told you this before, I mean, from the time I could remember, from the time I could walk, I had to go to work with him. You know, he had his janitorial service. Yeah. And he would, like, we would spend weekends waxing floors, like warehouse floors, waxing them and stripping them, you know, buffing them and waxing them. And it was like a Friday night to Sunday night kind of job. And it was just crazy. Now, I was there, my cousins was there, you know, a brother was there. We all had a lot of fun, but I mean, our weekends were gone. My summers, every summer at 4:00, I had to be at the house no matter what I was doing because I had to go to work. And he would, you know, he would say he was going to pay us, kind of never came, you know, whatever. And I felt my way to separate myself from that was to go out and get my own job. Right? And so it's like, if you got your own job, hey, we're going to do floors. Sorry, got to work. Got to do my own job. Yeah. And I must say, it worked.
It worked.
At that point, my cousins and my brother, they were still doing it.
Serving up them hot fries is making me tired. I got to go take a nap.
Yeah, exactly. So
see you in the morning.
Yeah. And so that was why I did it. Now, if somebody would have offered me, you know, another option, I'm not sure I would have done the whole McDonald's thing. So, since we've gone this far, what is it that you think made you decide to do that, to go that route?
So, you know, I have some friends who work there, so that was a big pushing factor. I was like, oh, I can, like, make some money, hang out with my friends, like, kind of a win-win. And I've heard from my friends that all the managers, like, just, they have a good time there. I can hear them talk about it and know, like, that they're just having a good time when they're there.
Right.
And so I was like, I don't know if I told you this, but at the beginning of the day, I didn't even plan on actually going in to apply. I was in a class with one of my friends, and I said I was going in after school. I might go in after school for something else. I can't remember. And he was like, or no, we were planning on doing something, and he was like, I have to go to blank. You should come in and apply. And I was like, okay. So then after school, I went and I applied, got.
And she said, she's like, I'll come back tomorrow for the paperwork.
Yeah, come back tomorrow for the paperwork.
It's like, are you not going to check I'm a criminal? Yeah, no, don't worry about it. Just come back tomorrow and fill out the paper and for the paperwork. Right.
So I think that was a big one. And then I think partially kind of for resumes for, like, in the future, because I mean, I guess you can put your you can put your parents.
No, 100%. No, 100%. You can put
your parents, but I think, like, if you go into a place and one of your only references is your parents, they're gonna be like, well, of course they're gonna say their kid is is a good worker because they want them to get this job. So I think that going into like an actual workplace where it'd be like, I can put this somewhere else later, was a good idea. And let's see. Oh, last thing. I've heard from just a lot of, like, older, I mean, mainly YouTubers, because that's the only older people I really listen to outside of you. But I've heard from all of them, it's like, it's like, work a fast food job. It teaches you just how to manage with people and how to just do stuff like that.
It definitely teaches you a lot. It teaches you how to handle stress. It teaches you how to work under a lot of pressure.
Yeah. So,
it does teach you a lot of things. And that's what I'm saying. Like,
I think I think that was kind of more of a subconscious thing that I was thinking about, but it's always something I've heard. It's like, work a fast food job. Even if you don't really want to, it's a good, like, just even for 6 months, you should work
Well, one of the things about working any type of retail, fast food retail, waiter or anything, it teaches you real quick if you want to do that or not. Like, sometimes you'll get your butt back in school so fast after going, nah, this is not it. But
not for me, Chief.
I told you I had a friend that started at Taco Bell, I think in the 10th or 11th grade, and I think by the time we was 21, 22, he had his own store, and he was, at the time he was making way more than we was, and obviously, we look at Eric. I mean, he started at Del Taco, and he just worked his way up, and although he's still going to school.
Yeah, now what? Does he?
Well, he's a kitchen manager, but at Torchy's.
Torchy's. I always get that mixed up with Chewy's.
Yeah, but he it's kind of like being back in the hood. We got sirens.
I can't relate.
I know you can't relate. Aren't you lucky? So you could see the path, and I think the bigger path in fast food is just being there, showing up, doing a good job, because the turnover is so high. Eventually, you just move up. You move up. You just got to pay your dues. Got to work your way and pay your dues.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, one more thing. I wanted money. Like, I get that you're like, oh well, I can pay you, but yeah, I just not making No, I'm supposed to get an allowance, and then that wasn't coming, and I was slowly running short of.
Not me. I
running short. Yeah, you do, but you're like you said. I'm not doing exactly much around here, but around the house, I was like, "When's it coming?" And Mom was like, "Oh, it'll come when it comes." So bread was running short, and I was like, "Well, I need to go to the market," and Taco Bell was that market.
Well, yeah, no, and it's just always something be said to making your own money. Even if you do chores for money, it doesn't feel like you're making your own money. You don't feel like you're working. So no, I think it's going to be a great experience.
This is federal now.
Yeah, I know it's federal. I think it's going to be a great experience. With all your friends there, I think you're going to enjoy it. It seems like a fun place, and again, I'm really, really excited for you, and hope that you enjoy it. And if nothing else, you learn something. You get something out of it. So, now, what was that? Tuesday, I dropped you off at school, and we was listening to Kanye. Was it listening to Kanye? Yeah, I think on the way to school.
Tuesday? You mean Friday?
No, Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday. And so I dropped you off, and I'm riding down the street, and I get pretty much home and realize I'm still listening to Kanye.
That was Friday.
Was that Friday?
Yeah.
Holy smokes, that's crazy.
Yeah, that was Friday.
Okay, well, Friday. And so I realize I'm still listening to Kanye.
Specifically Yeezus. Great album.
And I'm like, wait a minute.
I don't
did
listen
my
to this.
phone, did it switch over to my phone? And because when you get out the car, you never turn it off. And so I'll drive away and it'll just fade out because it loses the Bluetooth signal.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh. And I looked around, didn't see your phone. And I look over in the corner and there's your phone. And again, when you text me from your friend's phone, I was literally pulling into the garage.
Ugh.
And so, and it was within the time, if I would have come back, you wouldn't have been in class on time. So it just didn't make any sense for me to bring it back.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to bring it back and leave it in the office just so you can have your phone.
Yeah.
So my question is, what was that day like?
So it started off on a very low note. And then
it started off on a low note.
Down here at the floor. And then it jumped up real quick because I realized that I could connect my AirPods to my Apple Watch still. So I was like,
is that a flex? Oh my God. was that a rich boy flex?
Let's not talk about that. So anyway.
I feel so poor.
Just a little bit. So yeah, what was I trying to say? Oh yeah, so I realized that and I was like, okay, cool. I don't have my phone, but I can.
You got a iWatch?
An Apple Watch?
You got an Apple Watch?
So
and you got AirPods?
Yeah.
and Beats?
Yeah.
Before you had a job?
Yeah.
I don't even know why you working. Like, that's crazy.
Because
Anyway.
I want the pros. These regular ones aren't cutting it. So, I can still hear the pour. No. So.
Right. So yeah. So you realized you could connect.
I realized I could connect. So I was like, cool. Even if I don't have my phone, this is the main reason I use my phone throughout the day, just so I can listen to music. So this works. Well, doing that sucks the battery out of your Apple Watch. I started, and I didn't charge the night before, so I was already at 36. I went through, let's see, most of first period, most of second period, and then I think a little bit of advisory, and then
it was done.
Yeah, then my watch was done for.
So my question though is, like, you guys are so connected.
Yeah,
I mean, we all are. I'm not going to say you guys. We all are.
Mm-hmm.
But being a boomer,
yeah,
I can remember a time of not having. I can remember a time of not having a phone.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have lived life without having a phone. So sometimes if I leave it, if I happen to leave it at home, I feel funny for a minute, and I'm like, I'm good, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can make it. This is one of the first times since you've had a phone
mm-hmm.
that you've actually been without your phone.
Yeah.
And so, was it just an odd kind of feeling all day, or did
it slowly wore off in a way? It was like, at first I realized, and actually when I was chasing after you, I turned around, I was waving, and then you wave at me, and I was like, I wanted to go like, no, stop. And I thought you would figure that out, because why would I turn around?
Right.
But no, you just waved and kept on driving, and just as I realized I could ping it.
Once I get you out the car, it's all rubber and smoke at that point.
Mm-hmm. So, first period, I was sitting there sulking in my sadness, and then in the quietness without music, and then it slowly set, and I was like, well, it's not here, just deal with it. And so second period was a little weird, because at the end of the day, I use it, so then I just had to kind of sit there, not do anything. And it was the same with third period, because it was like everybody kind of packs up like 3 minutes before the bell.
Mm-hmm.
And so that I have one of my friends in that class, but they leave early to go to CTE. So I was just kind of sitting there, and it was like too short to just take out a book and start reading, because that was my pastime, was to read.
Yeah.
But it was like too long, and it was just boring. And then by fourth period, I was like, whatever. I walked home, and it was there. So it was, by the end of the day, everything was solved.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But was it just an odd feeling? Was it really odd? Not having it?
It was a little weird, yeah. Yeah.
So not something you never want to happen again.
Yeah, no, I'm actually going to get it, like, attached to me, just so.
Yeah, you say that pretty soon, it will be attached to you. They're going to implant it in your arm along
like
with a tracking device. Like
that Futurama episode where it's, like, literally in your eyes. Zoom.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I just thought that was interesting, and that's what I was thinking about. I was like, wow, I wonder what it's like, what he feels like not having his phone at school. Because I know
by the end of the day, I was like, well,
you're in high school, so you guys get to use them. The teachers let you use them way more than I think that they should, as far as even just for listening to music and stuff.
Yeah.
So
my Spanish teacher always has us put them in the front of the room. So right off the bat, when I got into the room, I set my stuff down, and I went, I was like, I don't have my phone today, so it's not going to be up there. And she was like, okay.
All right. Nice. Cool. All right. So I think this is going to be our last deal. And I just want to touch on this. This is something we kind of looked at right before we got started. And this is that student, apparently Kentucky student, is expelled from a Christian school over a rainbow shirt and a rainbow cake that her mom it was her birthday, and she had on a rainbow shirt and a rainbow cake. And they posted on social media, and her school, Christian school, expelled her for it.
Yeah.
Now, it's not. From what it looks like to me, it doesn't look like a pride.
Yeah, it doesn't look anything
like a pride shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And the cake doesn't look like a pride cake.
Yeah, it doesn't look like, it's just a rainbow.
And so, but they say, the school, being they, said that she has violated.
Yeah, they said
she's violated some
Some of the
policy
rules
before. They haven't stated what those violations
They
were.
said she got caught with an e-cig. That was what I read. That is that she got caught with an e-cig at the school before. Her mom said that, and then they just said she's had disciplinary trouble. But I think if you're gonna expel her, why over this? Like, cause
they say, the sweater was demonstrating a posture of morality and cultural acceptance, contrary to that of school belief. Rainbow is often used as a symbol for the LGBTQ plus community. And so her mama said there was nothing intended by the rainbow color. Even we went back and got the receipt from the bakery. It didn't say anything about representation.
Mm-hmm.
It just said assorted colors. And her mom says that she is not gay.
Yeah.
That's a hard one. I mean, it's a hard one because without knowing what the previous allegations against her was, or the previous strikes against her, that seems like a real big jump.
Yeah. So, well, that's what I was saying. It's like, if you're gonna expel her, wait for her to just do something else, and then you can be like, all right, well, you have a past. We have to expel you. But to expel her over something like this, where you interpreted it as LGBTQ plus like representation, without her ever actually saying or them demonstrating or it being blatantly obvious that it was that, I think is kind of stupid, because it's like you just feel some sort of way about it. So now you're like, yeah, well, this is what we think it is. It's right. Get out.
Okay. Again, it's just so hard without. It's just such a. Here's some of it without giving us all of it kind of deal. So that's a hard one for me. So because it really seems ludicrous to expel her for it. Now, I'm going into an opinion right now. And that is, if something happened before and this was kind of like a thumb in the nose, like she gonna thumb her nose up at him, like, oh, I'm just gonna wear this. There was something before this, I guess I can understand it.
Yeah, but don't you think that's a reach to put on rainbow, like have a rainbow cake that says assorted colors and just put on a rainbow shirt? Because, I mean, people wear rainbow colors all the time. So don't you think that's a bit of a reach? Because you go, well, maybe the school will interpret it as this, and then maybe I can be like, haha, screw you. Like, it just seems like it's not something that you'd plan that out, like maybe what could be.
Well, again, without knowing what happened before, it could have been the ultimate troll move. You know what I'm saying? It could have been a troll. Let's be honest. It could have been a troll move. And now it's like, who, me? I didn't do that. Now, this goes into, and what I was going to say about it being an opinion piece is this, and this is my opinion. I'm of the belief that if you enroll in a Christian school, and I'm not going to get into what Christian values are, we know that one claimed Christian belief is no homosexuality.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to go to a Christian school, then there are probably certain rules you should abide by. Mm-hmm. That's I'm just going to leave it at that. And so that's why
I'm not. Do you think in the rules it says no rainbows?
Again, it's a matter of what happened before, right? So if something happened at school, and she was admonished for it, that had to do with homosexuality, and she got admonished for it.
Admonished?
I mean, they talked to her about it, said, "Hey, that's not allowed. That is not acceptable. That is at the school." Mm-hmm. And her troll move was to go home, have a party, and put on a rainbow shirt and a rainbow cake. I can understand them making that leap. if this is about an e-cig and ditching a class and then wearing a rainbow shirt and they jump to that, they are 100% in the wrong.
Yeah.
100% in the wrong.
And this is just something that I also kind of thought about during that. This is like, or not this is, but I think you can have your beliefs, but it's kind of like when you go on the news and you're white and you say words like niggardly, because like you kind of have to know that that's not going to work out for you. But like people aren't going to look at that and be like, well, maybe. No, you're going to get in trouble for it. So why, like, I just don't get why they would think that was a good idea. Because, I mean, it makes them look bad.
The school?
It makes the school look bad. And I think to a certain extent, it makes just Christians in general look bad. Because now, you know, like, I mean, it isn't a big thing, but I've seen a fair amount of people being like, oh, Christians are the new minority and we're under attack now.
Well, that's a talking point that I don't like. I don't want to make this about religion.
Well, neither do I, but I'm just saying is that I think that it's just not very smart to even, like, I don't know. I just don't feel like it was smart because you can have your set of beliefs, but to put it out there like that,
but so that's what I'm saying. If it was a public school, I don't have a problem with it at all. Not at all. If it's a public school and they did this, I'm going to stand on her side all day long. Like, if it's a public school. If you're at a Christian school and they operated on a certain belief, let's just say, right? Just like if somebody goes to a Muslim school and somebody walks in with a pork chop, right? That's a violation. If you go to a Jewish school and you walk in and then you come in with something non-kosher, like those are the rules. Like those are the rules of the school. If you don't want to abide by those rules, don't go to that school. There's a lot of other schools you can go to. And so that's the only thing I'm saying is like, without knowing what happened before, it's hard for me to say whether the school was right or wrong. But I just think it's very, you know, it's a very interesting case. And I'm intrigued on seeing where it actually goes. So,
well, yeah, I don't know.
You say, I know, yeah, it's a weird one. It's a weird one. So it's
weird,
going to be interesting to see where it goes. So, I think we are going to wrap it up so we can check out those last couple episodes of Watchmen. That's what we're on now. I've seen it already. We're on episode 7 now. So
after that last episode, I went in and finally decided to watch it. So.
Yeah, it's ridiculous,
it gets really good.
If you haven't watched Watchmen,
watch it.
I highly recommend you watch Watchmen. It's done. The story is incredible. Yeah. We were talking about the music is incredible.
Visuals, music, all of it.
Cinematography and just some of the camera angles. It's just gorgeous.
And then kind of like the callbacks, like, you know, what I pointed out where in one of the first episodes,
don't give anything. No spoilers.
Well, it's not really a spoiler.
Yeah, no spoilers.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of callbacks. Let's just say like that.
I don't know. There's connections. There's connections you can make.
You never know what's a spoiler
in later episodes.
Yeah.
To some previous said things. In one of the beginning episodes. So
we're gonna call it a day on this particular on this episode 2. And well, it's the 3rd episode, but this is our episode 2. And again, I think we turned it on thinking that we was going to get 25-30 minutes, and at this point we're at the 45-minute mark.
I think that's a good run.
No, I think it was a good run. It's definitely a good run. So I just want to say again, thanks for everybody that takes the time to listen, whether you listen all the way through. Last week, you know, we cut it up into clips so that way you can get, you know, 20-30 minute. Actually between 8 to 12 minute clips of it.
Yeah, and we even had one to watch the whole thing.
It was a 4-minute clip last week. So if you don't want to listen to the whole thing or, you know, whatever, just check out some of the clips. I'll start posting some of the clips so you can listen to it.
Tell them that at the end, so that way
you can listen to it in sections. And now we are streaming on 8 different streaming services, all the major ones. Again, you know, the Spotify's, and so if you listen to this on Anchor, which is where we host it, it's also on Spotify and Apple, Google, and a couple different like pod crate or something like that. I have no idea what they
crate.
are, but yeah, it's like 8 of them. So that's really cool. That's really cool. So we're going to ask that you please subscribe. And if you are on Apple, to give it a rating and to please give it a review. And if you heard something you want to make a comment on, I believe on Anchor, you can actually leave a voice comment or check us out on YouTube at the Zoomer Pod. And so
we should
for
create a Twitter account.
Myself, Randy, and RJ, we will see you, or I guess what they used to say, see you on the radio. We'll see you on your phone or on your streaming device next week.
I don't know that one, but yeah, bye.